I have identified what, it's taken me years to identify what I think is the most complicated thing about dating at my age of 57. Coming off of a 20+ year marriage, I've been dating 6.5 years. It has taken me about that long to figure out what the problem is. And it's this: how in the world and where in the world do I begin to explain my life's journey? And where does he begin?
Let me just stop you right there. Okay, the reason why dating in your 50s is such a struggle after divorcing your husband of 20+ years is because you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Guys, I covered a video yesterday where we had a 53-year-old woman on here having the exact same problems. But the truth of the matter is that these women oftentimes throw away their family, they throw away their husband, they return to the streets, and then they're shocked and surprised when it's not very easy for them to find a relationship. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, we are going to be laughing at some divorced women who are out here in the streets, guys, once again struggling to date. So we're going to be listening to their dating woes. We're going to be having a good laugh here. Now, guys, today's episode was made by Matrix of Madness. I'm going to leave his channel linked in the pinned comments, so make sure that you go and check him out. But without further ado, let's listen to what some of these women have to tell us.
I hate this part. The part of dating where you went on a first date and it went great. There's nothing bad you can say, but you just didn't feel a romantic connection. And then you have to follow up with a text that says like, hey, had a great time, but I just don't think I can get there romantically. And then you're a people pleaser, so you feel bad not pleasing them. And they don't take it well. And then you just feel shitty.
Yeah, so here's exactly what happens, right? These women go out on these dates, and if you're not attractive, then she won't feel a quote-unquote connection to you, right? It doesn't matter if, you know, she's divorced, or she's a single mother, or it doesn't matter if she's completely unemployed, right? You have to be attractive, and for her to see a long-term future with you, you have to have a job and you have to be able to provide and things like this. So what happens, guys, is women go out on these dating applications, these dates with dudes, and then if you're not attractive, they're just not interested. Now, people will oftentimes say, and by people I mean these women, they'll say, I'm just looking for love. I'm just looking for someone who's going to care about me. But that's not really the case, is it? I mean, you look at their dating histories, and realistically, it's just dudes who didn't want them. And that's why they're on here crying and complaining.
Feel shitty. So photos do not equal in-person connection. They just don't. They just don't. And that's one of the limitations of online dating. Doesn't mean online dating is bad. It just means that that's a start, right? Do you find this person on paper attractive? Do the way that they answer questions on their profile like resonate with you? Then you gotta get in person. Because have you ever gone to hug somebody that you thought was attractive and like you felt no spark? I have. Being attractive does not mean that someone is going to be attracted to you in the way that they want to actually date you. So this wasn't an issue of me thinking he's unattractive and doing the date anyways. It was just that it wasn't there.
I don't believe her whatsoever, guys. You know what I think? I think when women say all of this word salad like this, it usually, here's my guess, the dude on the dating application looked like he perhaps had money, right? But then when she went on the date, she couldn't really handle the fact that he wasn't quite as attractive, right? And you see, this is what a lot of modern women complain about, guys. They'll go after the, you know, they'll get to their 30s and they'll say things like, I'm done with the, I know my standards now. I know what I'm looking for now, right? But really what that means at the end of the day is I'm looking for a provider. Okay, we need a dude out here who's going to pay for things for me, who's going to pay the rent, whatever the case may be. All throughout their 20s, and for the majority of their adult lives, and oftentimes they'll be out here chasing bad boys until they can't afford to do it anymore. Then they marry a dude and they feel like they're settling, who they inevitably divorce because they miss the bad boys, and then they try and take his money and resume what they were doing anyway. Okay, this woman's trying to convince us guys that, oh, there just wasn't a connection there. The translation here is just the man wasn't attractive enough for her. That's what this means.
In the same way that texting is not an indication of connection. We like to think it is, and sometimes it can be, but someone can be a great texter, and then you get them in person, and you're like, oh, actually, like, I don't feel it in person.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically womanese for man wasn't attractive. That's really the end of it. So again, guys, this woman right here, by the way, before we continue into the first clip of today, this woman is also divorced, and she is also out here trying to find her Prince Charming. And this is what so many of these women do, right? They return to the dating apps, they return to hooking up with bad boys, but they're still looking for the very attractive men. Okay, that's why they're on these applications. They want the Chad to come along and to commit to them. So let's jump into this first video here that we played in the intro. This is a woman who is dating in her 50s, and she's sitting here talking about hurdles of dating, right? And, you know, oftentimes when I hear these videos, okay, and you have women complaining about dating and saying it's so difficult, I mean, let's cut to the chase here. You shouldn't even be dating in your 50s. So let's take a listen.
I have identified what, it's taken me years to identify what I think is the most complicated thing about dating at my age of 57.
You know what's complicated about dating at 57 is the fact that you haven't realized that you shouldn't be doing it. Okay? I mean, that's just point blank period. That is the end of the discussion right there. The reason why there's even hurdles or it feels difficult in the first place is because you shouldn't be doing it, right? And these women, they think they've solved this nonsense, but the problem is just it shouldn't be done in the first place.
Coming off of a 20-plus year marriage, I've been dating 6.5 years. It has taken me about that long to figure out what the problem is.
6.5 years. This woman has been unable to find a man and lock him down for 6.5 years. Now, guys, even as a woman is in her 50s, I want to make this clear, okay? I don't care if the woman is 21. I don't care if she's 58, okay? When you have women complaining about dating, what it always means is just that the men that they want won't commit to them, because at any age, you know, employed, not employed, healthy, not healthy, okay, attractive, not attractive, it doesn't matter. They can always find some dude who would be willing to have a relationship with them. The struggle that women have is selecting the right dude, and we all know they can't select the damn right dude for the life of them, okay? I mean, how many stories like this do we cover, guys, where women are just absolutely terrible at picking their own partners? This is why it was done by the father figure back in the day, okay? This is why everybody knows that oftentimes when women grow up in households without fathers, I mean, we all know where that heads, right? It's because these women can't make accurate judgments about men. They cannot do it. They always select the bad boys, the attractive guys, you know, none of the men who have actually these good characteristics that they say that they're looking for. Always the guys who actually have these good morals, by the way, that are completely invisible. So it doesn't matter what age she is, guys. The fact that she's complaining about it or even struggling or doing it should tell you everything you really need to know, okay? Because dating, as I always say, not difficult for women, even divorced ones in their 50s.
I've been dating 6.5 years. It has taken me about that long to figure out what the problem is.
Guys, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed, shall we say, right? I don't consider myself a very intellectual person, okay? But let me just say this. It should not take you 6.5 years, or however long she said, to figure out such a simple problem. It really shouldn't. Like, these girls, man, they think that this is some giant convoluted issue, when the issue is, hey, maybe don't leave your marriage of 20-something years, right? And I don't know whether this woman chose to leave her marriage, but I generally think it's a safe bet to assume that, considering women are the ones who are, by and large, the ones divorcing their significant others. It's usually not the other way around.
And it's this. How in the world and where in the world do I begin to explain my life's journey? And where does he begin? We're in our 50s, and we've been on this planet for more than 20,000 days. I want to know everything, but how do I know everything? And how do I explain everything? My wins, my losses, my disappointments, my victories, the moments in my life that I'll never forget.
Can you guys imagine you go on like a first coffee date with a woman and she starts going on about her journey and her regrets and her mistakes and her wins and her losses? You'd be sitting there like, bro, it is just a coffee. This is so damn annoying. I swear to you guys, the women who throw out the words journey, like they say journey or they say healing and things like this, you already know they're complete nut jobs. And let me just cut to the chase here, okay? Men don't really, this kind of crap is just super annoying. We don't want to hear all of this nonsense. We don't want to hear all of this yapping. Okay, just keep it simple and don't be annoying, especially to dudes in their 50s, man, right? Dudes in their 50s have such little patience for this crap. Like, they just want you to be sane and they want you to be normal. They don't need to know your entire life story off the bat, okay? Just be pleasant to be around and then you're on your way there, okay? Hell, even the guys who are a lot older and who see right through the bullcrap, it's not like they expect anything magnificent from you. Step number one is just be a pleasant person. Okay, none of this story about your journey and you've got to tell them the ups and downs of your life. Like, what is this? Some sort of like comic book lore or something that the dude has to learn? I mean, goodness.
And the moments in my life that I want to forget. How that just seems so daunting to me. And as I start to realize that this is a major hurdle for me, I do think that subconsciously that it derails opportunities for me to find a long-term relationship. Please share your thoughts.
I think you're a nut job. I mean, I don't have any other way to word this, guys. So, like, I don't know, is this woman just showing up on dates, spilling her whole life story, and then she's shocked because the men don't really want to listen to it right off the bat? Right? I've noticed this about a lot of older women, guys. They become oftentimes incredibly narcissistic, particularly the ones who are really unsuccessful with dating or who divorce their husbands and ruin their families and things like this. They're oftentimes really narcissistic people. They think everybody needs to know all about their life story and things like this. When oftentimes all you have to do to get a long-term relationship from a guy is just not be a headache. You know, these women think it's like the most giant of challenges to land a husband or land a boyfriend, but it really isn't. So we have another woman here, guys, and just warning, bit of a jump scare on this one. Another divorced woman. What my ex wanted to talk about when we met to discuss divorce. I just want to preface this video, guys, by saying that whenever we cover these quote-unquote ladies, you already know why they're divorced. I mean, I can't really roast this woman without being banned by YouTube, so we'll just let her speak and take a listen.
Okay, so today I had to sit in the car with my ex for like 25 minutes just to hammer out the last of the details for when I meet my lawyer tomorrow, because like I said, everything's been hammered out, everything's settled. We just have to sign the dots of who's getting what, and what I'm telling you I'm getting is what I'm getting. Yay!
Am I the only one who's off-put by the scary amount of smiling in these videos? You know, I've been thinking a lot recently. Women will oftentimes jump on these TikToks and they'll say the reason why men don't approach me is because I'm intimidating. And I don't think men are ever intimidated by women, you know, or at least I thought. But the more I cover these videos, guys, you know, I wonder how the husbands are still alive. You You see what I'm saying? Like, some of these people, guys, they record their videos, and I'm like, wow, I don't think I would ever feel safe sleeping in the same house as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, their behavior, their mannerisms are just actually quite scary, guys. I don't know, um, maybe that steak she cooks you one time is not actually steak, you feel me? So, some terrifying videos here, a little bit manic looking, but let's proceed.
But instead of talking about the important stuff, that's what he wanted to talk about. Who I'm dating. Am I dating anyone he knows? Do I talk about him on my dates? Yeah, you heard that right. Do I talk about him when I'm on my dates? And this is how mature this man is. He also said, are you dating someone that could beat me up? And I'm like, does that matter? But the funny thing is, when we first separated, he thought I was dating somebody right away, which, again, I wasn't. And he threatened to beat this imaginary person up. So he's very mature like that. But yeah, that's all he wanted to talk about. And I'm meeting my lawyer tomorrow. We're going to get everything written up and hopefully get things moving.
There is no way this woman is sitting here talking to us about a man's maturity level when she is recording information about her divorce to an audience on TikTok publicly. I mean, is this not the peak of irony, right? You have a woman here who's talking about the behaviors of her ex-husband, which may or may not be true. I'm always inclined not to believe it when a person is smiling throughout the entire damn video. But where this guy is being lectured on his maturity levels, but here we have like a, I don't know, 40 or 50-year-old woman sitting here recording a TikTok video publicly about her divorce. Do you guys see how this works, okay? It's like, these women just have it so backwards, because when they make these videos and they start going on about crap like this, I just always assume that they're the crazy one because they're the ones on TikTok talking about this nonsense. You see what I'm saying? It automatically makes their ex-husband look a lot better than maybe he is. Maybe he's a terrible person. Maybe he's not super mature. But guess what? I don't see him posting on TikTok public videos about his divorce. So instantly, I'm going to not really believe you that much, and I'm going to believe the guy. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue on to the last video of today's episode. This might be a two-parter. I believe this woman rants for a very long time, so we might make our own video on this particular woman. But let's take a listen to what she has to say.
I heard something this morning when I was digging deep into my podcasts because I had myself into another situationship that has since ended, and it left me deeply confused, and this gave me a lot of clarity.
Whoa. Let's take this back a second. Okay, let's wind back the clocks, because this woman just said a lot of nonsense. So, number one, she has a podcast. Oh boy. Number two, she's divorced. And number three, she is struggling to date because she is in situationships. Now, guys, women who find themselves in situationships, these are individuals who are not wife material. They're not girlfriend material. Hell, they're just not relationship material altogether. Because what this essentially means is she's out here chasing dudes who don't want her, failing to get a relationship from them, and then continuing to chase them anyway. Right? So they give themselves away, they have intimacy with these guys, and then they can't get a relationship out of them, and then they cry and complain, and then they make TikTok videos like this. This is just amazing. Guys, it truly is, you know, one of the feats of this particular generation that we get to view all of this complete garbage on TikTok.
So I won't go too much into the situationship, but I'll just say this. What kept me in it and super confused was that his actions and his words didn't match. And I know that's like 101. The problem is he behaved better than he said he wanted or was. Like, he was the most intentional, supportive person that I have ever been with.
Yeah, right. So he was super supportive. Maybe he bought you some flowers every now and then, but every time you pushed him for a relationship, he didn't want one. Cue the modern women shock here. Oh, but how he didn't want a relationship with me, but you know, sometimes he did some nice things for me. Okay, so you still don't have a relationship, you still don't have a ring. I want again, guys, to remind you, I believe, as far as I understand, this woman is also divorced. And you've just got to ask yourself the question, man, how are these women so damn clueless? This is the equivalent. I've always thought this is the equivalent of dudes on the internet buying things for women they don't know, right? I think the inverse of that is basically women giving away intimacy to dudes who don't want a relationship, right? Women tend to feel a lot more burned by men when they don't get a relationship, and men tend to feel a lot more burned when they don't get intimacy. It's two sides to the same coin. And damn, it is absolutely hilarious to watch the women cry and complain when they can't get a relationship out of dudes. But let's continue. We'll listen to a little bit more and see what she has to say.
Kind of makes me sad because he was like my best friend. Okay, I'm clearly still a little choked up, but he was so there for me, like on a friend level, everything. And I mean, when I deleted just our recent text thread, there was over 3,000 messages, but we spoke on the phone more than we texted.
Wow, this is amazing. You talked to the guy a lot. That's just so supportive. Absolutely. So this woman is on here, guys, on TikTok about to damn well cry, because she lost a situationship with the dude. So a dude didn't want a relationship with her. She had a bunch of intimacy with him, but she's saying it's super confusing because the guy was supportive of her. I mean, this is, you can't make this stuff up. Absolutely hilarious, man. You know, modern women will make any excuse necessary to continue to try and lock down very attractive dudes. That's really what it comes down to at the end of the day, guys. You can take, like, the man who has completely reprehensible morals. He's a terrible person. You know, just an all-round awful guy. And these women will find a way to spin him into their absolute Prince Charming if his jawline is good enough, right? Or if his bank account is big enough. You guys ever notice that? It's like, oh, this guy, you know, he's just misunderstood. So what? He committed multiple felonies. He's just misunderstood. He's just a hurt soul. This is what these women do, and they will continue to do if they find the man attractive. But how's the divorced dating going for you? Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to go and check out Matrix of Madness. I'm going to leave his channel linked in the pinned comment. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.